Yeah. You ready to talk, yeah?
Yeah, bro, let's go.
All right, let's get into this. So obviously, last week we just released our 50th episode. So big up everyone that's been with us from the beginning. If you've come in the 49th, 50th episode, if this is your first episode, welcome. I say this every single episode, but this is actually, for me personally, a special episode because I've got someone on the pod who I'm a fan of. They've got a dope channel, Mr Delinquent Nation, Mr Prison Diaries. SP, welcome to the podcast, bro.
What's going on, my brother?
You good, yeah?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Anytime. So you saying you good?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited for this one, but just
something different. It's a little bit different to what we normally do, but I'm looking forward to it, man. Definitely.
Exactly. So for those of you who don't know, I'm sure a lot of you would have seen at least one video or a clip on something on social media. But obviously you have your podcast where you talk a little bit about, you know, what the ins and outs of prison are about. So do you want to just touch a little bit on, for the people who don't know what it is your podcast is about?
Yeah, it's a platform for ex-prisoners and current serving prisoners as well.
Yeah.
It's just a way to get the guys their voice out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And just to get them heard, like decent guys.
Yeah. Because I feel like a little bit of the narrative, and you spoke about it on your own platform, is that anyone who goes to prison or is in prison is like a scumbag or a low life or whatever. Yeah. And it's not like that.
No,
it's not like that at all.
It's not like that. Anyone can go to prison. Anyone could like make mistakes.
Exactly.
I think it's better that we rehabilitate people rather than just point fingers and
exactly. And as well, we kind of touched off air about how you felt like when you were in prison as well, the like Ross Kemps of these wars and stuff were coming into prison and creating a certain kind of narrative of what prison's actually like, and it's
not like that. Yeah, they'll create a narrative and then they'll benefit off it financially.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? And why shouldn't I? Do you know what I mean? And I'll give the realness in it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So. And I feel like as well on your platform, just from watching as a supporter, like people come onto your platform and are just super honest, and it's not like a glorifying thing or man are not saying I'm the wickedest or I did this. They're just literally talking about their lives and how they went through things. But one thing I wanted to ask you is like, what is the day in the life of a prisoner? Like, what's it actually like from the second you get woken up? Because obviously I don't know anything about prison. I've never been to prison. Okay. What's it like? Like from the moment, like how do you wake up? You got alarm clocks. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what's prison? What's it actually like?
It's just repetitive is a short way of saying it, but it's like you'll be woken up by the noise at a certain time. Like depends on what prison you're in. So if you're in a remand prison, like where you first go when you get nicked, it's usually 23 hours a day. So you get your hour out to either shower, clean your cell, associate, and then I think you have like half an hour exercise or stuff.
So for the people that don't know what a remand period is, just explain to them what that is. Is that just like, so as soon as you get nicked, it's your first day in, so just for those that don't know, because some people ain't gonna have a clue what that means.
So when you get nicked, you're either gonna be bailed in the police station or remanded, which means like usually if it's a more serious crime or if the evidence is like obvious, then they'll remand you. And that means that you know, you're going to jail until your court case, which is usually about 6 months later. But if you're bailed, then you don't go to prison. But yeah, remand is basically where you are until you get sentenced or found guilty. Do you know what I mean? If you bust case, you go home. If not, you go to a sentence prison. You get a little bit more
and you said it's
out.
23 and 1, so 23 hours you're in your cell, and you only get 1 hour outside of that.
Yeah, in most of the remand prisons that I've been, I'm not sure if it's changed recently because I haven't been to a remand prison in a long time. Yeah. But like the last one I think was Belmarsh. So that was 23 hours a day,
and how long can you be in a remand prison for? Can it be like a couple of months? Is it 6 months? Can you be in remand prison for a year? Like,
is there like a max or a minimum time that you can be in there?
There isn't. Like, because like some people so basically once you're sentenced and you're a sentenced prisoner, you're supposed to be sent to a sentenced prison. But some people like at a fair, I don't know how they do it, but I've seen some people in remand prison that's been on the wing for like a few years. Do you know what I mean? But they always look a bit fishy because it's like, why are you still in a remand prison? Do you know what I'm saying? You're meant to go to a sentence because they might be comfortable there, or sometimes they might get a job. And somehow they're able to stay, or they might have a medical hold, and they're able to stay. But once you get sentenced, you get allocated a prison. After that.
And then so once you get moved from a remand prison to a sentence prison, what's that like? I take it that's not 23-in-1, right? That's
so you might get, it might be 20 hours bang up. So
20 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which is decent.
That's decent.
yeah.
Can you imagine being in your room for 20 hours?
That's mad. It's nuts, but you just like, when you're in that world, you adapt to it.
Yeah.
But so you might get an hour out in the morning to shower, clean your cell, and then might do movements so people would go to work, whatever, and then you lock back up, and then association might be 2 hours, and you might get 1 hour in the exercise yard, something like that. So you have like about 4 hours, which is quite good.
That's quite good. Yeah. Okay, and in terms of jobs, what kind of jobs can you get in prison? I know you can like do the kitchen stuff.
Prisoners do everything in jail.
Literally everything.
Yeah, that's what people, not a lot of people understand here, but prisoners cook the food, serve the food, clean the landings, paint the landings. The only things we don't do is things that require tools, like, the pipes or like plumbing or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like a prisoner will have a job, he'll pay about £15 a week, like to clean the landings or whatever. But there's also like workshop jobs. So this is how prisons make money. So they'll get a contract from, let's say, for example, B&Q, like to make the things that they sell. And they'll have a contract with the prison. But the prison will pay you like £15 a week, but they're obviously making a lot more money. That's how they smash it. Do you know what I mean? But people go out there just to get out of their cell. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's mad. And that's got, so like obviously there's like, when you work out in the outside world, there's like minimum wage, right? There's a certain amount. Obviously £15 a week is much lower than minimum wage, but what, because you're a prisoner, those rules don't apply to you.
Well, like at one point it was like I was getting paid like £8 a week as a cleaner. Do you know what I mean? And the wages are silly, but you want to get out your cell, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so that time that you were supposed to be spending, so let's say it's 20 hours in the cell and 4 hours out, you can cut down that 20 hours by going to work and workshops and all that stuff.
So everything might start around 8:30. Sorry.
You good?
And then everything might start around 8:30, but say you go to work at 8:30, you come back for lunch. Lunchtime is around 12 o'clock. So if you got a job, you're out from 8:30 till lunch, innit? Do you know what I mean? You bang up for lunchtime, everyone, because then the screws are going to have their lunch or whatever. And then after that, about 1 o'clock, 1:30, depends on what prison or the regime or whatever, then you can be out again until like 5 or whenever the bang up time is, like, but you're working, do you know what I mean? And then you might come back for association, get another hour out. Yeah.
Cool. And another question I had, is what happens in jail when someone who's a bit more high profile comes into the prison? So let's say a rapper or anyone who watches this podcast, like we talk a lot about football. So like Benjamin Mendy's on remand right now. He plays for Man City. What happens?
Yeah, the mad case, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a mad thing.
He's in trouble.
Yeah,
he's in trouble.
He's in trouble for real.
If it's proven that he did what he said he did, but
because of what the crime was. Yeah, that's why he's in trouble.
Any type of nonce crime, rape, paedophilia, you're in trouble. Like you're in trouble.
You're gonna get dealt with the other prisoners.
So would they put you? Yeah. Obviously, I'm guessing the prison know that, but they will still put you in the same. Or are you separated?
They will give you a choice. Like, do you want to go on the VP wing, which is like vulnerable prisoner?
Okay.
So like, but then you're around creatures. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the wing that you're on.
When you say creatures, what do you mean by creatures?
Like the worst of the worst nonces. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then sometimes they slip through and they're like, you know, I'm in for GBH or I'm in for like selling drugs, and then a screw might come round and tell you like, my man.
This,
and then that's
him. Yeah, finished. Yeah.
And
so days. You get dealt with properly. But if you're high profile, depends on where you are. It depends on how you are, like, because you could get kidnapped or whatever and told to send peas.
Right,
or if you're just cool,
then it's fun.
It could be alright. Do you know? It just depends on who you are. I was on the wing with the owner of Like a Mobile. Do you know what I mean?
Swear.
He's like a billionaire.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think he was on some fraud thing. He got like 8 years or something like that. But this was this was like 2016.
Yeah.
And nobody grabbed him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like nobody did that.
Is it because he's just cool? Was he just cool? So everyone just let him.
How did you know that was him? Did he say?
Screw said it.
Oh, the Screw.
Screw said it. He said it like. Well, he didn't. Like no one spoke to him. He's like a kind of oldish age Indian guy.
Yeah.
And he's
just
like,
minding his business.
Minding his business. Yeah, he was on dialysis as well. So like he was quite sick.
Right.
So it's like you can't really do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Leave him. Yeah.
Okay.
So some people have it hard. Some people are alright. Like big faces that go there and they're alright.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I just feel like if you're a high profile person, like people might want to test you or like get points off of you and say, oh, I did this to my man who's rapping about X thing and he come on the wing and I did X to him or whatever. So I feel like it could be quite techie.
It's happened to quite a few high profile rappers.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any names.
Nothing like that. What's you can speak about what happened though.
We
won't put you under that kind of pressure.
No, it is because they know, like, do you know what I'm saying?
They'll know
and then people in the prison population know what's happened to who. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But then there's also people that are high profile that come prison and they kept that energy, like the energy they had on the street.
They
keep it in jail and you know people around them and you know it's all right kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting, very very interesting. And then, kind of, do they come out of prison and still have that same persona? So like, let's just say you come into prison, you're a rapper who raps about certain things, you get tested, everyone knows about it. Do you come out of prison and do they keep that same energy or do you feel like they might change?
I think some people have been humbled. 100%.
Right, okay.
He said that with confidence, you know. He said that with confidence. He said, you come a certain way and they're going.
I think you could easily get humbled in jail. Even like, because I think a lot of people in the end, like you're bad in your ends and then you come to jail and then it's not, do you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got your guys with you or, you know, you just ain't got that same energy, but some people do keep that energy up, do you know what I'm saying? But it just depends, bro, because you can get, like, if you're being fuckery, like, down south, like, London ways, they might send you up north. And then them scousers will deal with you differently, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because they're not idiots, do you know what I mean? So if you think you're bad up there, but they don't know who you are and they're not rating your thing, you're by yourself.
You're finished.
You can get dealt with as well. And it's not always a fist up thing. You can get hot watered, you can get chopped up, you can get stabbed, you know what I mean? Like,
So that's one thing you touch on your podcast, and a question that I thought was interesting when you ask your guests about what's the worst injury you've seen in jail. Because I feel like sometimes, especially like youth, they think of going to jail as like a badge of honor or like an exciting place to go or whatever. Because sometimes, like you see on Snapchat, people have got their phones and their clothes and food and all of that kind of stuff. But then you talk about some of the mad injuries that you can get, like getting hot water. So can you just explain a little bit about what getting hot watered is? So it's just like boiling the kettle, and then I think you even talked about like, do people put like sugar in it or like oil in it and these kind of things?
Bro, so the most basic hot water is just hot water.
Right,
you know, and then sometimes it scars, sometimes it doesn't. Like, but what serious people would do is like they will put a bit of oil in there and they'll put some sugar in so it sticks. So when that hot water goes on your face, it's like you're like naturally doing that, but your skin's coming off with you because it sticks, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can imagine hot sugar.
Yeah.
But they boil it for time, and you're finished basically. Once that goes on you, that's you for life. It's like first degree burns or something.
Oh my
days. I asked that question because it is a deterrent. Because some man probably think like, and you know the people that would do it, like, you see if you're that guy on the wing, you won't necessarily hot water someone yourself. You'd pay some little cat, like a 50 shot of spice or something like that. And then you'd be sat down eating your food, and then you just get a hot water dashed in your face, and the cat would just go and bang up in his cell. You can't get to him, but you're finished. and you have to go to hospital now, and then you're not going to be able to even, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, bro, it is a deterrent, I think, because people think you can come to jail and just, you know, but then it gets serious. But like, there's different categories in jail. So you got like, if you're under 10 years, you go to a category C. Okay. Once you're sentenced. If you're over 10 years, you go to a category B or a category A. Okay. And in them jails, it's just a different like type of work.
What, the A and the B? Yeah. Compared to the C?
Yeah, compared to the C.
As in the violence.
What, big,
the violence, yeah.
Oh, the violence. Is it a big jump?
It's a big jump, yeah, because it's mainly lifers and high.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing really to lose. But then a lot of people, most of the rappers that you've heard or whatever has got like under 10 years and they've gone to a C-cat and they've survived it and they're like, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? But you haven't been in the trenches yet. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, once you go to them places, like the works is different. You hear about man getting killed and like murdered in their cell, and the type of torture sometimes that man will get, like, is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And that wouldn't really, you don't really hear about it that much in C-cats. Like you might hear about a few choppings or whatever, but in like a B-cat or any high securities, it's just different. You gotta be.
So how does the prison deal with that? So like, let's just say I'm bunked up with someone and I see them get killed or I see them get stabbed in the face or whatever. Obviously, it's traumatic. Like it's a very traumatic experience, right? So like, how does the prison deal with that, or do we just go on like this is normal here?
Bro, one time I saw someone get chopped in his face, in Pentonville, you got chopped in his face. He ran out the shower, claret everywhere on the floor and that, and then they just took him to the nursing place and they got a cleaner to clean up the blood and carried on social. Like they didn't even stop it. Some jails are like, it's just so normal, like the violence and that it is just normal, innit? And you have to see them things if you're doing a long time. I'm saying it, although it is traumatic.
So a question for me is like, it's a hard one, because how do you carry yourself from day one when you step into the prison? Is there a way that you need to carry yourself as a person when you first walk in? Say someone that's never been to prison and all of a sudden you've got hit, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years. Now this is your first day in prison. Is there a way that you should carry yourself, and how do you make friends, or you want to make friends rather than enemies in there?
I'd say like be yourself.
Yeah.
Like be humble. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if a man violates you, it's in your human nature to defend yourself.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go into like I wouldn't say go into a wing like and then start moving mad, like, do you know what I mean?
Because that's what people think. They think when I go to prison, I need to act something that I'm not and become this strong, violent, superhuman person that you're not. And then all of a sudden, like you said,
you get
quickly enough, you'll get humbled straight away.
You get found, man.
Yeah.
100%. Like when I first went jail, like when I was a young offender, way back, like I had that mentality, like find the biggest guy in the wing and bang him.
That's what you see in the movies.
That's what I'm saying. That's what people don't understand. That's what they feel like. Even if it's not you outside of there, now all of a sudden you got to pretend to be this. I've got to show my presence. Little do you know.
You can like, bro, because trust me, bro, like the violence in certain jails is different. So, you can come on and think like that, but you're coming to prison, you don't even know how to make a shank yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know certain things, like, do you know what I mean? So you might come into prison and think, I'm just gonna start banging, man, or whatever. Yeah. But don't get twisted. Like some people, like, right, he's game, he's about it, like, do you know what I mean? But say you did it to the wrong person,
it's gonna be long for you.
Like you'd wake up in the morning, because you're new to prison, innit? So you're waking up, you're just drying your eyes, I mean, rubbing your eyes, and then somebody's on top of you, just chopping you up, like, do you know what I'm saying? And you're just thinking, I had an argument yesterday.
Yeah, you think
I
it's calm.
Stuck it on him. Yeah. But that guy, he's ruminating in his cell. Like, he's thinking, as soon as them doors open, I'm in there.
He's like, sleeping.
Because man will do it tactical. If you can't go one-on-one, man will do it tactical. Try to get you when you're in the shower. Do you know what I mean? When you're just slipping, like, get you while you're half asleep in bed. Get you while you're in a dinner queue. Like, there's different ways in it. Like, know. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like when you come onto a wing, I wouldn't say come on thinking you're that guy, because if someone does stick it on you, no one's gonna defend your thing because that's your profile, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? But if you came on like humble, like a good brother, then man would be like, right, don't do that, bro. He's a good you. Don't try and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's morals.
Of course there's morals,
Some people think they think it's like a free-for-all. For the people that don't know and that haven't been or nothing, they think it's like you go in there and it's like these man.
There's more morals in there than there is out here.
Okay.
Because that's what man. That's what's respected in jail, like morals, saying thank you, talking to people with respect, because you get that like respect back kind of thing, and you have morals, and that's how you should. That's how it is in jail, basically. A lot of people are quite respectful. I would say more in the high securities, like the B cats and A cats, But then when it gets peak, it just really gets peak.
Yeah, it goes. It could go either direction. Yeah, that's mad. Because like I said, people from the outside, they look in, they think,
there's a jungle in there.
Yeah, it's like these men are doing that, man. They don't understand. Can't speak properly, can't do nothing. But like you said, little do they know, they've probably got better respect than the people on the outside.
Yeah. A lot of respect, bro. There's a lot of respect if you can carry yourself well, and you won't really get invited unless you're like doing things like, you might be a humble guy, but say you're a humble guy, but you're smashing the parcels, which means like you're getting all the drugs in and but you're not brocking man off, you're not giving nothing to anyone. Yeah, you can get robbed, and like it would be like, right, you was doing your thing, you wasn't busting a man them, like you can definitely get robbed. You know what I mean? Even if you are humble, you need to like.
It's a balance.
Yeah, bro.
So just touch on that. That was actually going to be my next question. Is like, you talked about the parcels, so people are bringing drugs into the prison. So like, what's the black market of prison like? Because obviously people have phones in there, people do drugs, like people that make alcohol and these kind of things. So like, what is that all like? Because I've heard like stories about like how phones, like these little phones, are like £400 or £500 in jail and all of these kind of things. So like, can you touch on like what that's like?
Yeah, so you got like the little Zancos, the little phones.
Yeah.
You got smartphones, they're like harder to get, obviously. Then you've got tobaccos now on the black market because they stopped selling tobacco in 2016, I think.
Right.
Spice. You got obviously white and B, but not so much since the spice came. Weed. Yeah, like just those things really. Do you know what I mean?
And they're like obviously way more expensive than they would be out if you.
Of course, yeah. When I was just before I left last year, I don't know. Then you guys smoke. Do you know what like a 25 gram of tobacco is?
Yeah. I don't smoke, but I know.
I don't smoke either. But I know. Yeah.
So it's like 25 gram. That was going for £300 or £400. 50 gram was going for £600. You know what I mean? But then when I went home and I spoke to my brethren, and he was like, because there was weed on the wing, but there was no burn.
Right.
So a 50 gram pack went for £2,000, like a 50 gram pack, which would be like, I don't know, like £20 out here, but it went for £2,000.
Oh
because
my
Because of Corona, there was no visits.
So
no way to get past it. So if you got it in somehow, maybe through a screw, then you just charge top price for it. It's like what you're willing to pay, really. Do you know what I mean? For a bit of comfort.
So that's the thing. That takes me back to what you talked about when you said you had a job and you was getting £8 a week. So how does a man afford $2,000 to spend on tobacco?
There's two different types of money in jail. Yeah. So so that £7 or £15 or whatever that you get a week from working, that will go into your books. Right. You spend it on canteen. You're allowed out of your own personal money. Say your family sending money to you. Say they're sending £1,000 into your account. Right. You're only allowed £15. So let's just say, let you guys understand. Say someone sent me £1,000. Mm-hmm. Every week, £15 would roll onto your current account. So you can spend it, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And let's just say whatever you were sent, you can't spend it. It's just there, innit? But you're only allowed to spend, if you're a normal prisoner, £15. If you're basic, I think it's £3.50. And if you're enhanced, it's £25. You can spend that at that. And then whatever you earn from the job, say it's £15, you get it on top. So you might be able to spend £40 a week. But that's prison money. Yeah. That's different. Obviously outside, if you got people, send this to this person, transfer this money to that person. It's two different types of monies, but you know what I'm saying? You don't spend it with your actual prison money. Like,
okay.
And the things cost normal amounts in prison. So like if you want to buy, because obviously you can buy like food from your canteen and all of these things, are they just normal prices, or are they like a bit cheaper? Because like if you're on basic and you're on £3.50 a week, like how are you supposed to survive on that?
Because bro, like out of that £15, it's credit as well. Like so.
Oh, like for your phone, yeah.
And I think it's the rates are ridiculous as well. So it's like, say you get £15. So you ain't got a job and you get £15. It's like you might put £7 on credit because you ain't got a phone. This is an incentive to buy mobile phones as well. Like, but you put like £7 in your credit, and the rest has to go on like maybe your toiletries, like your soap or whatever, unless you want to use the prison soap. And then you might want some tunas and that. If you don't like the prison food, you might want to cook up your tunas and your mackerels and that, or your noodles, your oats or whatever. So you like spend your money on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh man, this is mad.
Yeah.
Which then brings me like round to the question of, do you think prisons are there to like rehabilitate people, to stop them like, you know, committing crime in society and actually come out and do good things? Or are they there to just, like you say, make money, do contracts with these companies for you guys to work and make profit off of you, or just to like break people? Because like trying to survive in an environment where you might be a basic prisoner who's on 350, there's bare violence going on around you, like it might be corona, so you can't have visits and all these things. So like, long story short, do you think prison is a place where they're actually trying to rehabilitate people?
Nah. Because like, bro, it's just common sense, and I don't understand why the government hasn't picked up on it, bro. Like, you have two different types of people, yeah. You've got people that, I don't know if you got beats when you was younger, yeah. Yeah. But some, but you get some people that will respond well to punishment, so you get a licks and then you're just not gonna do that again. Yeah. But then you got some people that get a licks and then they'll get smarter and then try not to get clocked next time. And, do you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, detention, and they was probably getting gassed off detention and things like that. Punishment that didn't really work. Do you know what I mean? So I think most antisocial people, won't respond well to punishment. So if you lock someone in the cell around other like-minded people, and then some cases man feel violated by the officers, your rights are taken, it's just getting you more angry. There's no rehabilitation. It's just violation. Sometimes it's like it's freezing, the heating's not on. It's hot, the heating's on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, like that. Like it's things that they do, yeah. And it's like it's like, and then you're getting into fights, and then you're becoming more hardened. Do you know what I'm saying? How is that? Like, once you come out years later, how is that gonna? How does that rehabilitate somebody? Don't get me wrong. Some man will go jail, like the man them that got beats and they never did it again. They will go jail and never go there again because they're like, right, I'm terrified of that.
But like you said, it doesn't work for everyone.
Doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, it doesn't work for everyone.
There's prison, I think it's Norway or like them places, where it's like a holiday camp. Yeah. But I hate that word holiday camp. I'm gonna get onto that, but it's like a holiday camp because like they give you basically everything, but you're still locked up. You ain't got your liberty, but you know, they deal with you like a human being. They help you, they set you up for work outside and things like that. And their reoffending rate is the lowest in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you've got America, England, that are still doing this, like just lock them up and throw the key away and then let's just hope for the best kind of thing.
It clicks.
Yeah, but it doesn't, because we've got the most life is in the whole of Europe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we've got like, basically just doesn't work, innit? If we put money and time into like rehabilitating people, dealing with them like they're human beings, showing them different ways, then it would work better. You know, and onto the holiday camp thing, it's like, all right, give yourself a PS4 with internet, not PS4, PS5 now, with internet, laptop, all of the good things, yeah, even a phone and everything. And then just stay in your yard. No, you're not allowed to see no one. You're not allowed to fuck your girl. You're not allowed to do none of these things, yeah. And you know, go out in your back garden for an hour a day, and just do that for 6 months. And see if that's a holiday camp. Do you know what I'm saying? Because prison is not meant to be. The punishment is losing your liberty, bro. Yeah. So imagine you ain't got no freedom. You can't just pick yourself up and go shop. You can't do nothing what you might enjoy doing.
Yeah.
You're just locked up with your thoughts, and that's the punishment. To punish someone further than that, it just doesn't make sense to me. You're just making that person worse. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when people are like, oh, well, they're allowed Xboxes or whatever, because you're allowed Xbox 360 in there. Right. And obviously no internet or nothing like that, but you're allowed these things in jail. And they're like, oh, they give them Xbox 360 and things like that. But so what? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my cell 23 hours a day or 20 hours a day. You know, you got Xbox, whatever, but like, you've got loved ones out there that miss you. Like, that fucks up your head, bro. Like, you know, you might have, there's a lot of people, they got youths, and they're not being able to see their youths grow up. They're not being able to see their youths achieve things, or family members and things like that. So that is the actual punishment. People forget, like, because, do you know, and it's partly the prisoners' faults, because a lot of prisoners would make videos like, I'm in here living good, but bro, after that video, they're not happy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts though. Yeah,
facts. You just can't be happy in there, unless you didn't have a life before that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's a big thing about perception, right? Like, you talk about, like, you see it in the newspapers, isn't it? Like, the Sun, and that will be like, prisoners playing Xbox on Christmas Day, like shit like that. It's just like, and
exactly.
Like, they're human beings. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Like, it tries. I feel like prisoners and like what happens with, like, you know, your rights and stuff when you come out of prison, all that. It tries to like dehumanize you because you done a crime. But it's just like you say, the punishment is going to prison. I've served my time, and that's it. Like, we move on.
Yeah.
Help that person, innit? Like, help him use energy elsewhere. Like, you know, rather than like, because you come out of jail and then you go into probation, and then you got to tell probation everything. They got to know where you're going, what car you're getting into. Certain prisoners anyway.
What's your thoughts on that? When like that probation period, that they got to report to someone constantly. What is like?
I think you know, probation. I can't be against probation, because probation is the reason why you do half of your sentence. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So like, say for example, I got a 10. 5 years inside, I'm doing 5 years outside. So every so often I've got to see my probation officer and tell him, you know, they might drug test me, see if I'm smoking or whatever, like, or drinking, like, or whatever, and, you know, is there any police reports? So I do agree with probation in a sense where they're letting you serve your time, half of your time outside, but you've just got to keep reporting and stuff. But then you got some fucking probation officers that don't like you, and they'll recall you for missing an appointment or something like that.
Oh, no.
I'm saying, like, my co-D right now, he's back inside, and we both did the same time, but because he had the amateur probation officer, they recalled him for something minor, and he's back in. Like, and he's,
God.
Yeah, and like, you know, after that amount of time, coming out for a bit and going, like, it's fuckery.
That's even worse, isn't it?
So what happens when you get recalled? So let's say you're on probation, you mess up, they send you back, or you don't even mess up, like you say, you have a rookie probation officer and they send you back in. Is there like a process for you to then be re-released after a certain amount of time, or do you have to finish your sentence now you've been recalled?
No. There's parole after that, innit? But the peak thing is, like for example, my co-D, they recalled him for something that was so silly that the police NFA'd it, that no further action, so there was no charge, nothing like that. But he's now got to wait on a parole board, so he's been in for the past, 5-6 months, and then now he's got to wait for his parole, which might be in the next few months. And then once he gets his decision, then they give him a date when he can get released. If you're a lifer, when you get recalled, you have to wait 2 years before your first parole, or IPP and things like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, bro. And then each time a man goes to prison, it's more the taxpayers' money. This is what I'm saying. It's a business, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? They want you back in there, and they want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, I've even like done my kind of like research and stuff like this. Like, they're starting to bring like private prisons into the UK, which are like companies will own the prisons and are trying to make a profit off of making sure the prisons are filled and there's certain quotas and all these things. So it's a lot deeper than people think it is.
Why do you think why would you privatize a prison unless there's money in it?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Like I was in two private jails.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And is there a difference between private jails and government jails?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I would say private jails spend more money on their jails. So
Okay.
it's newer.
Okay.
The establishments are newer. Facilities are probably a bit better. Yeah, but they're profiting. So.
Who would go to a private jail? Like, and who decides to for them to go there? Is there like a certain thing or
so?
Is there a way that they would choose? Okay, he can go to a private jail, he can't.
No, it's just like it's wherever you're allocated.
Okay,
like,
so
do you know what I mean? Yeah. But once you are in the private sector, like say you make it there, do you know what I mean? Then
you make it to the big leagues.
Because the private jails,
it's a bit nicer.
It's a bit nice because like obviously the public jails, which is just HMP prisons, they're like rat infested, cockroach infested. They're not spending their money on the prisons. You know what I mean? But the private jails, because they're under pressure and they're private contracts, it's not owned by the government. They have to keep up because they will get audited and things like this.
Okay.
And so they've got to keep up to the standard. But like, the normal, they might get fined for things they're not doing. They'll pay the fine because it's the taxpayers' money. But obviously with the private companies, it's their money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
That's so mad. So one thing you touched on just like briefly before is about IPP, which is something that's not, that they've scrapped IPP now, haven't they? But do you want to touch a little bit about what IPP is? Because we were talking about it before because you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But do you want to touch on it a little bit about what it is?
IPP is just fuckery.
That's simple.
Literally.
IPP fuckery, car. It's called in protection for the public. But like you have to come across the man them that are doing IPP to know how fuckery it is, you know what I'm saying? Because like IPP got scrapped in 2012 because of how fuckery it was.
Yeah.
But this man's still in there in 2021 now, like still on IPP. So before, I might be wrong, no one quote me, but it was like, I think they was doing like a 2 or 3 strike thing. So if you got nicked for the same thing 3 times or something like that, more time you're IPP. Or if it's a serious offence, they might give you IPP. Right. And IPP is like, you can get, so for example, I know someone that was, no word of a lie, he did 2 street robberies in 2007. He's my age. So he did 2 street robberies in 2007, like where he robbed mobile phones, them little things.
Yeah.
And he's in jail today, bro. He had a 2-year IPP. I think it was a 1.5 or 2-year IPP. And he's still in here today, bro, because the whole parole process, you can't get. And people like I put up a video of someone that I recorded that was, he was doing IPP, but what was it? I think it was 4 years IPP, he's been in 15 years. But people are like, just keep your head down. And, just do the courses and you're not rehabilitating yourself. But you have to understand, when you have not got a release date and you're around savages, and, you have to understand where your mentality is going to go. Like, you've been violated by screws and things like this. So this is the environment you're in. So you adapt to that environment and then you start to become a lot more anti. Like, it's like caging a dog and poking it for time and then expecting it to come out like good, normally behaved.
Not gonna bite no one or nothing. Just calm.
So just to expand on the IPP, so from what just did a little bit of reading earlier, from what I understand of it, it's basically you're going to serve a minimum amount. So if you've got 3 years IPP, you're going to serve a minimum of 3 years. But after that, they're going to assess your risk to see if you're allowed to go back into the public.
Is there a certain time that do they like assess you every 3 months, every year,
2
or
years?
Every 2 years you get assessed.
For IPP, because they're classed as lifers, so they will get their parole every 2 years. I think in some special occasions you can get it brought forward or whatever, but it's every 2 years. So this is why they're stuck so long. So, I don't really know much IPPs that that they've done their tariff. So like, say it's 4 years, they've done their 4 years, and then they get out on the 4 years. I don't know many, because like they'll be like, well, it's IPP, we'll knock back this parole, and then you got to wait another 2 years for the next parole. But then in that 2 years, you know, a Fed might have smelt weed coming from your cell, or like, you know, or they might have seen you around the wrong crowd, and it's called like a IR, it's an intelligence report, something like that, yeah. And they'll write it in your file and that. Okay. And the parole board will look at it, well, he's been hanging around the wrong crowd. And they smell weed coming from his cell. It might be next door cell, you know, or it might be your cellmate or something like that. And they'll be like, nah, your parole's not back. So you wait again, and then you don't have like, how do you expect these people to behave? How would you behave? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's nothing to work towards. There's nothing really to do.
But don't get twisted. Some people that I've even interviewed myself, they come out like a couple years after the IPP. You know,
but so still, that's still wrong though, because I've served my time, innit? If you give me a 4-year sentence,
what's more wrong is it's been scrapped.
Yeah.
So why are man still getting recalled? Like, say man have come out from IPP, why are they still getting recalled? Like for a license that don't exist? Why are people still in jail?
Something that doesn't even exist anymore. That's
exactly.
Mad.
Tiny Boost, who's like part of like Giggs' camp, he put a tweet out saying like he's gonna be on probation for like the rest of his life, 99 years. So he has to report to someone until he dies, basically. Almost that.
Well,
not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because I think after 10 years, I think it is 10 years. Don't quote me on that either, but I'm just going in the memory bank. But I think after 10 years, you can do something, and if you've just been greatly behaved in the outside, I think you can get rid of the license. Do you know what I mean? I think so. Right. But there is I know you can do that, but it's like, I don't know how long. I think it's 10 years of being behaved.
One thing I wanted to touch on and kind of segue onto the kind of film and movie that you're doing is about joint enterprise.
Very important.
Something that me and him were talking about, and it kind of leads to what you were saying at the beginning about kind of anyone can go jail, and it's not just this person who's like a savage who's on the streets moving super reckless. You can kind of just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, get caught in a joint enterprise, and now you're in prison. So do you want to just like kind of explain what joint enterprise is?
Fuckery. joint enterprise is mad, like, but that's why I'm doing the movie, because Be a Man don't know about joint enterprise. A lot of people don't know about joint enterprise. One of my nieces was like, she had learnt about joint enterprise in citizenship in school, which is good.
Sick.
Because like, we wasn't taught about it or nothing like that. But basically, basically what it is say us three go to a party, and, you know, let's say, you know, you got good friends and bad friends, you know what I'm saying? But I've got it on me, whatever. Somebody steps on my trainers, and then I soak him up, and he drops out. Yeah. They would be like, they might look at the CCTV from you guys all being together that day, and know that you guys are a clique anyways, or you hang around with each other, whatever. You guys have got no intention of murder. I might not have had intention of murder, but I just carry something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just in case,
the prosecution would do is like say that you guys knew he had a weapon on him, and had foresight to what was about to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And you didn't stop it, and you didn't do anything. So you are just as guilty as the other man. So I've got an example, a few of my brethren that got life, they was like 8 of them, and they was going to a party, and then they was riding out as well after the party or something like that. And then 3 of them are super active. The rest of them just wanted to party, basically. So 3 men jumped out the car, caught this youth and stabbed him up and killed him. The rest of them didn't jump out of the car. Long story short, a few of them bust case, but then one of them that even thought I would snitch, like I'm going to snitch, I did not jump out the car. Him and him jumped out the car. He got found guilty on the joint enterprise. So even though he snitched, it was like, well, you was there. You knew he had a nank, and he got 18 years, do you know what I'm saying? And like, basically, there's another mad story like where a cab driver, but he was doing the lift off the books, and then he stopped while the kids has jumped out. They've gone into the shop. They've seen an op in the shop. Yeah. Soaked him up in there and went back into the cab. Cabman's none the wiser. Cabman was my next door in Belmarsh, bro. Joint Enterprise, yeah.
No way.
Bro,
how long did he get?
I don't know.
My god.
I don't know what he got.
So,
but basically,
what is he getting done for?
Joint Enterprise, but murder.
They're saying that he was involved.
He drove them there.
Yeah, basically.
So you get like murder. You don't have to do it like. So have you? I don't know if you've seen that rapper that I put up on my on my YouTube. Yeah. Like he.
What's his name?
Doesn't
I don't put his name.
Okay.
He's still doing life.
Okay.
He's on his way out, but he has been in since before his GCSEs, and I don't know if it was like this for you guys, but when we was in school, you might have school fights, so you might go to. And then something happened, and then he had nothing to do with it. He was just there, and then he got a life sentence as well. So like just for being there from school.
From school,
he's still in now. Yeah.
Oh my days.
Yeah. So that's why it's so important that I do the movie. I've started a GoFundMe on it. You know what I mean? Because I've done a few. I'll show you guys the scenes after. I've done a few scenes, but the budget's run out. Do you know what I mean? So I think.
We'll put the link up on our page and all of that as well. We'll push that for you as well, bro. Definitely,
I appreciate it because I think. Once kids know, like, because back in the days, your mum or whoever raised you might have told you, like, don't hang out with the wrong crowd, but don't hang out with the wrong crowd.
No, it's actually true. When you think about it now, I knew of it, but I didn't realize it was literally like that in terms of like, if you're there, if that's your brethren and you're just there, even though you had no idea or nothing, you're getting done as well.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I think they've changed the law slightly in 2016. Everyone thought it was scrapped, but it wasn't. They've changed it slightly. But like, it's just a case of like, because you can still like, it's not to say 100% of people that was there at the murder is going to get found. But then the prosecution, because he wants to win the case as well, he's going to say to the jury, like, he had foresight and he knew, and then now your life is in the jury's hand and you might have not had a clue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just best not to put yourself in that position. Don't take the risk because, like you said, if they're there, they're gonna try and take you down as well. So it's mad, isn't it? How parents will say that when you was kids, but now when you think about it,
it's so important.
It's mad. It's actually don't actually do it. Don't hang around with the wrong crowd because if you're with the wrong crowd, all you got to be, like you said, is just be there. Not even know what's about to happen. You're having a good time.
Don't be a half gangster. Like that's what I would say. Like if you're in it,
go all the way.
Go all the way. I'm not saying you should go all the way. You should be in it, but I'm saying if you are actually trying to be about that, don't do it for the image or to be cool. If that's what you're about, understand the consequences. Understand that when it goes down, you could be doing the rest of your life in here. But if you're a bit iffy about it, just leave it because like when it comes down to it, you're either going to be called a snitch because this, like I told you, this guy, he snitched, bro, and he's still got an L plate. So now he's doing the rest of his life with a snitch on top of his forehead. Like he's finished. And you're in jail. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, because a lot of people like, well, I won't snitch, but when you and I do not condone snitching whatsoever. But when you're in that position, because I've been around BM man that's been in that position, like being in Belmarsh, a lot of man my age at the time and younger. All you're thinking about is, you might be 20, all you're thinking about is, right, I'm coming out when I'm 45, 50, Like, that's when you start to think to yourself, you know what, fuck the roads, I'm snitching, They might think like that, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, what's the point, man? Just do what you're good at, do you know what I mean? Like, and just leave it, because,
What about speaking to like young kids? Do you speak to young people out there that like are on the roads or anything like that? Do you share that kind of information with them? Do you pass on that kind of information, or do you?
I've spoken to a couple people, but like I told you before, I'm proper introverted. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a public speaker. What I like to do is these interviews. So so you can see real guys, yeah, their story, different walks of life, and then you could either learn from that or not.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? I'm not a preacher.
No,
I was in the same circumstance when I was younger. I thought, all I can do is trap. All I can do is this, that. Or, I didn't really have the mind that I do now, innit? So I'm not going to preach to anyone that might be in bad circumstances that feel like, right, all they can do is trap. Like, they can figure out for themselves. But if you watch the podcasts that I do, and then you're hearing the man them, and these are guys that are official, certified. They've done things that you've never done. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can learn from that if you got sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Or not.
That doesn't open your eyes.
Yeah. Because what is the end goal? Say you're a trapper, what is the end goal? Because would you want to be on tons, importing tons into the country, having £1 million? Okay. I've been in jail with these men, and they're usually like men in their 50s, white guys that's got to that stage, where they're importing tons in the country. They've been under the radar, they've got multiple houses, whatever, and they've kind of lived the dream. But now they're like 45, 50, doing like 25, 20s and that, do you know what I'm saying? All the houses that they bought, there's something called POCA, Proceeds of Crime Act, all the houses that they bought is repossessed, because it's like, now, because you might have only made 500 bags, or you might have made $1 million or whatever. But the way the feds work it out, you've made 50 million. Yeah. Or they'll say like, maybe not that, but they'll say something so crazy.
You ain't even seen
that
or
you
touched.
haven't seen or touched or whatever. And then sometimes you just might be a middleman, and you're making a bag each box. Like you might be the middleman, and you put $1,000 on top of it. You might only make $1,000 each box. But the feds is seeing it like, I've seen you pass that, and then you've made 50 grand. So then at the end of the day, you owe that much to the government now. So all the houses that you had to repossess, and you don't pay that POCA, you can't buy nothing again until that's a debt. That's a debt again on your head forever. So it's like, if you're starting off on the road selling tens and ounces, and then you say you move on to boxes or whatever, and you're doing your little boxes and thing, like, where you going next? Because like eventually it's gonna be collapse. Like it's over. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
It's interesting that you touched upon like the end goal.
Yeah.
What is the end goal? Because obviously you've got a lot of friends that you speak to. Or what is the end goal when people start off on the roads? What do they have an end goal?
That's the point. People don't have an end goal. Like, because if they had, don't get me wrong, if you had an exit route, like exit strategy, I'm gonna make 50 bags. I'm gonna take the 50. Invest in XRP. And then, and do you know what I'm saying? If that's
you're an XRP, We're still waiting on the $10.
But I'm playing games right now.
I know, don't worry, I know. I'm in it.
But like, you get like, say like, I'm gonna make 50 bag, I'm gonna invest it all in a house, and then whatever, and that's your exit route, then fair enough. You can do it. Like,
of course,
Like, that's cool, but then if you ain't got an exit strategy, and like you're just like, right, I'm just gonna have this income, easy come, easy go, like,
fast as it comes in,
as quick as it comes, quick as it goes. Like, a lot of men are making this bread, and they're spending it on silly things like £1,000 trainers.
Yeah, we were thinking about this the other day, and it's just like, my thing is, listen, like you said, if you're gonna be on the roads and you're gonna go and do it, cool, no problem, go and do it. But surely there's got to be an end goal. Just like you would go to university, the end goal is to get a degree and come out. Or when you start a job, you want to climb up the ladder and get something. And then at the end, when you're 30, 40, you got something to show for it. Yeah. What I don't get is when these young men, and I know man and heard some mad stories about, they've seen $1 million, they've seen $2 million in about 3-4 months. But then come to their like 6-7 years later, they're just normal guys. And what have you done with the money? You've got nothing to show it. You ain't bought a house. You ain't bought nothing for your family. You ain't done nothing. You haven't even gone prison or whatever. You've just spunked all the money. And I don't understand, why would you go into something knowing that you could create a better life for yourself and probably your family and the people around you?
I've noticed something in life, because I've made a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money, kind of thing. And I've noticed like there's like laws of the universe, like like gravity, like what goes up must come down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it says in the Bible, like what you sow is what you reap. So like if you plant a good seed, you're going to get good fruit. And if you plant a bad seed, you're going to get bad fruit. So if it's negative, say like when you're selling bees and what, and you're killing people or whatever, you might make some money, but then something bad's going to come back, like, or like you might lose that money quickly. It's not worked for, it's not respected, that money, do you know what I mean? And then if you're doing like myself, like I come out not even a year yet, but I've left everything alone, and now I'm doing all right. Like I got my yard, got like my my whip, like, and everything's legit.
Do you feel
stress.
any different, like in terms of?
Do you feel like there's a weight off your shoulders?
Yeah,
I feel like your mind is a little bit more clearer.
Yeah,
how you're doing things.
Yeah, bro, because you're not like, you're not blowing money fast like you might have used to, but you just get what's necessary, and you don't care about all the other things, and I would say how I am now is like the best version of myself. Like all I got to do now is really work on my body, get in the gym. Do you know what I mean?
Like, trying to get hinged,
yeah. Well, hopefully one day. But that's it.
One thing I was gonna say is, like, obviously now you're out. So you said you're just a little bit less than a year. Do you feel like on edge at all at any time to like not get into like altercations or whatever? Because
100%.
if you get into anything, you're gonna get.
100%, yeah. Well, when I first came out, like, because I come from prison, so it's like I'm not used to arguments and like, because it's not an argument thing. When it's disrespect, you set it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's the way it goes, kind of thing. Yeah. And like I've come out here, and then I see these kids, and I know I look young. I'm 30, but I know I look like a kid myself. Maybe. Yeah. I see these kids like they watch it. They would, where you might see another black youth or whatever, and they would just be screwing you. And then back in the days, I would have checked it. Yeah. But now I would just look away because it's like, you don't have a clue, bro.
One, you don't know who I am. Yeah. Two, you don't know where it could get to and where you could end up. You don't know the life that you're about to live. Because
exactly.
if he does do something, he doesn't know what the consequences are.
He don't know, like, because you don't know how far I'm willing to take it. Yeah. But at the same time, I've got 5-year license over my head right now. So me and you can we can get into a scrap.
Yeah.
And then you can go police station, get bailed and that. Yeah. That's not happening for me. I've got to sit down now. And bro, that's why for me, I don't penny it. I don't penny none of these kids like looking at me or like obviously if it's disrespect, like, as a human being, you're supposed to, like, you can't just take disrespect, you know what I'm saying? But like, you're supposed to defend yourself. But like, I don't really care for like people that think they are what they because everyone's gone. Well, I went through that stage, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I've learned, like, and I would never risk my freedom.
Do you try like not to put yourself in certain situations as well? So like, I don't know, do you go out and like party and stuff? Because you might get it, someone might bump into you or something, whatever. And these kind of things.
Yeah, but like, if someone bumped into me, like
whatever.
Do you know what I mean? We're in a party. Like, I've never been like, I'm not a hothead like that. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, I'm introvert. I don't like parties anyway. You know what I mean? I'll go to certain events and things like this. But if I was going to a party, I wouldn't be in a situation. I've got some friends as well that probably wouldn't want me in that situation. So, I do. It's not. I'm not consciously avoiding it, but at the same, I'm subconsciously avoiding it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just autopilot. Like.
So how have you found it, like, re-assimilating into society? Like, have you found it like weird? Have you found anything weird, like being? Because I think from your podcast as well, you didn't have any DCAT, did you? So you didn't get to have to like the weekend like visits, going home and all this stuff. So have you found it weird, or maybe not now? Maybe you're fine now. But when you first came out, was there anything that was like proper weird for you?
Yeah, it was super weird, bro. Because like, it was such a lot. Like, I didn't get DCAT. Like, I was confined like for 5 whole years on that one sentence. I've been going before that.
Yeah.
And then when I came out, you know, Mrs. picked me up. I went in the car. We was like going down the motorway. Everything was fast, and we went. Everything was moving fast.
She was holding on to the side.
It was like
slow down, babe, slow down.
And then we went to the the service stops. Like went there, went and then there was just all these people walking past, and like you know that you've just done a mad time, but it's weird that people don't actually know that they're just going about their business, and like it's something that I can't really explain. It like I was like a deer in the headlights, you know, and I was just looking around. Because you see, even in jail, when someone's moving too fast, if you hear like that, it's like something's popping off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like everything. It's like going from one world, because it's like it is completely 2 different worlds. It's 2 different worlds that you're in it. So when I got into this world, it took me some time to adjust. But I did adjust, you know what I'm saying?
Is there anything that you wanted to do when you jumped in the car? Was there anything that popped in your mind, wanted to see or go and do? Or was you just like, you know what, I'm here now.
Just happy to be
I'm
free.
Just going to go with the flow. Is there anything that you wanted, you know, I don't know. Do you watch football? Is there
I watch football.
Is there a certain team that you support that you wanted to go and watch them? Is there something that you thought, the first thing I want to do, this is what I want to do now that I'm out? Did you have anything in mind, or did you just literally go with the flow?
Yeah, I went with the flow, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't it was like, I came out into lockdown anyways.
Yeah.
The lockdown didn't affect me because I was in lockdown.
Cold. That was cold.
You know what I mean? But like, I just like, there was like, I don't know, good meal. That was really nice, having a good meal. Spending time with the missus. But like I said in the beginning, I was a deer in the headlights, so it was just like I remember we was driving down the motorway, and then there was music playing, and you know she was playing the music, and I was like, just turn the music off. I just need silence. Do you know what I mean? It was such a weird thing. Like I just needed to like gather like my thoughts.
Yeah. So do you feel like now that you're out, obviously you've been out for a decent amount of time now, do you feel like you've like been supported? Like, did we give you support once you come out of jail? So like, obviously you go to probation to check in and stuff, but did they say, oh yeah, like we think you're good at this, like go and find a job doing this, or you know, we see that you're doing a podcast, is there ways that we can support you or whatever? Or they kind of just check in, make sure you're not doing anything illegal and go about your business?
So like, when I came out, obviously I didn't think the podcast was going to really be anything, so I tried to do something called, I think it's CSCS course, and it's so you can work on the building site.
Right, okay.
And then the college knocked me back because of my record, which was nuts, because I know someone that's done an M that was able to do that. Do you know what I mean? On his release, So it was just particular college that didn't allow it, so I wasn't able to get that work. And then I'd ask them to see if they can find any other agencies that can help me get like a qualification, so I can do something. Because those type of like trade jobs would accept ex-convicts, but it's labour work, innit? Do you know what I mean? But I'd gone to probation one time, because this time I started doing the podcast more and more, and then, you know, got monetized, started getting paid by YouTube and stuff like this. And then my probation officer was like, oh, how's the podcast? I was like, what do you mean? Like, how do you know? How do you know about the podcast? He was like, oh, like, you know, the management saw it, they liked it, they thought it was really good. Do you know what I mean? And they was like, oh, would you like to they wanted me to speak to like the heads of probation and things like this.
Sick.
But I didn't actually do that. I just didn't do it.
Did you turn it down, or you just didn't go anywhere?
They were just like, they was doing something. It was like an event or whatever that I just didn't go to.
Okay.
I'm saying, but it was like the things that was coming along. So like they saw what I was doing. So for example, some of the people that's been on my podcast is like gone on to like other major platforms, you know, and that to me is rehabilitation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it is.
Like, I'm creating a platform for an ex-prisoner to be able to tell his story if she's likeable, and like, you know, you do your music's good, like, you know, Link Up might shout you, or like GRM or whatever, And then, it's because the point, like, it's not about me. Do you know what I mean? It's more about the man them, because like I'm not really a spotlight person, if that makes sense. Like, but yeah, like another person, like I said, did a panorama. A girl was doing a charity. And then, things kind of happen, like, because the right people are watching it, kind of, if that makes sense. Like,
definitely. So. Because you just mentioned like the link ups in the GRMs, and that's one of like the kind of the last questions I had for you. Would you be interested in like collaborating with these kind of platforms to do interviews and stuff? Obviously, you have your own platform, but like I think it would be sick if, Scraps comes home and does an interview of you talking about like kind of, his new music that's coming out, but also, his experience in prison and all these kind of things. Like, would you be interested in doing that kind of thing?
I think, like, yeah, of course I'd be interested, but on my own platform. Do you know what I'm saying?
Everything's got to be your own thing.
Yeah, because, like, obviously, respect to GRM Link Up. They've done loads for the community. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to give up what I've built. That's why I don't go on major platforms. Like I told you, I've had loads of offers in that year, but I'm not going to give up everything that I've built from scratch to then, go and build up your thing. Although, like, your thing's built. You're good. You're good. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I want to build up my own thing, and I want to be the go-to place for like ex-prisoners, for the man them to like have a chance and get their story out there, kind of thing. So. Yeah, of course I'll do like a collaboration, wherever it might be, but it's not to say that I'm gonna I've stopped doing Delinquent Nation. Now I'm working for Link Up. I would always be Delinquent Nation, and then like how we've collaborated today. I might go over there and collaborate with them if they asked or whatever. Of course.
No, definitely, because I can see that that's sick. Like, I don't see any other platform out there. That's why I'm like I supported myself when I reached out to you. Is I don't see people having these kind of conversations so like open and honestly and in a way that's not boastful. Like, I feel like some of these conversations when man talk about jail or whatever or put it in the music, it's like, I was the man on the wing, I was doing this, I was punching up everyone. But it's like, man, that I've done some serious time and I've done some serious things in prison are talking like, this whole thing is dead.
I didn't just open and honest.
Because do you know what it is, bro? Like they could be boasting about some fuckery they've done, because like, a lot of the people that I've spoken to are real guys, and they've been good in prison. Do you know what I mean? Good in that sense. But like, so they could be boastful, but it's like, when you've actually been through and you've actually done some serious time, like that's just not. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's long. Like,
literally.
Like, it's like no one's gonna come and I've done a long time myself. No one's gonna come and bullshit, man, and tell me like, man, it was lit and and
had a good time in there. And it was nice,
brilliant time. Nah, I don't think anyone's gonna say that, bro. They might say it in their music for effect. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think no one's gonna say like boast about it. Like some people do, but. In my line of question, you won't even have a chance to do that. So it's like
one of my favorite interviews was Frogsy's one, where he kind of speaks like, and he talks about stuff like how he had like road friends and then he had normal friends, and all of his road friends you don't speak to no more, didn't check for him when he was in jail. But the man who went on anything are like going to check his parents and sending him money, and like he still talks to you now. And that was just interesting for me. Like, and he talks about like basically the whole road thing is dead, like doing all that stuff is long. And it's just interesting to see someone that like was on a case for like shooting at the police, so has done that crime. He's basically saying, this whole thing is long, man.
Bro, the reason why I asked that question, bro, is because you see when you're on the road, bro, the roads is fake. Cause like when I say it's fake, it's fake, bro. Like obviously at the time when you're present, it is super real. You know what I mean? But you see when you go, bro, like, don't get twisted. Some man, like small minority of man, are still getting supported and things like this. But when you go away, you think like the game. When you get into the game, you think of it like, mash work for the ends. If I go jail, the man has got me. Man has got my family. Like it's some Crips and Bloods thing. Maybe that's how it happens in America. I don't know, but like. My experience, and I would say probably 90% of the man them's experiences, like your brethren that you was with, like, they're not checking for your family. They might not check for your youths or whatever. They might send you a change. In my case, barely. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to do your own thing, like, and the man them just kind of forget about you. Like, you're in jail, move on, and then you're dead, move on. Man, yeah, R.I.P. my. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like sometimes it's like you don't really care, bro. Like that's why I say the rose is fugazi, because it's like the man them don't really care. Like when you really deep it, yeah, like they don't really care, bro. If you really cared, yeah, like some of the things that you be doing, yeah, you wouldn't allow that your brethren to be doing that or whatever. Like, brother, I used to say, like, if you come out of jail and a man's got a box for you, that's not your brethren.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's helping you to go back there, really. But he might be thinking he's actually helping you, which is good. Do you know what I'm saying? But when you really deep it, bro, he's not helping you. You know what I mean?
It might be coming from a good place, but if he actually thinks about it, he's putting you at risk of going back to where you don't want to be.
And then the legit friends, the people that like that you didn't penny or pay no mind, but you knew them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they kind of held you in high regard because you was that guy or whatever. Yeah. Those are the ones that you might just get a letter under your door and be like, bruh, my man, or some girls like or whatever, like, bruh, they care because they sat down and wrote a letter. How many men are really getting letters? Like, do you know, bro, it doesn't happen. Like,
and they're the little things that matter, innit?
Yeah, there's the little things here. Like, even, bro, how are you coping? Like, you know, you've done a few years. Like, how are you coping? Like, how's your mentals? Kind of thing. Them questions ain't asked. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because people don't really care. That's how I see it, bro. That's how I see it, bro. Like, that's how I see it. And people might act like they care, but when the shit is the fan, bro, certain man might snitch. Certain man like it's always every man for himself, innit? Kind of, man, a road man, innit? Do you know what I mean?
So when you came out, did a lot of people try and like reach out to you now that you was home that didn't really speak to you while you was in prison, or it was the same energy? So let's just say they forgot about you when you was in prison, didn't really contact you, and then did that just carry on even when you came home? Yeah,
of course I had people trying to contact and things like this. But like I've got long-term friends that I don't talk to anymore because I wouldn't give them that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, wow, like, it sounds a bit bitter or whatever, but like, nah, I wouldn't give them that energy because when I needed you, like, where was you, bro? Because when I was on the road and we was all together, I might be getting bits and pieces and helping the man them out or whatever, and like we used to help each other out. But then when I needed you, like, you know, where was you, bro? And if you wasn't there, like, you got to do. Why have you got that friend, bro? Why is he your friend? I'd rather the man the good you that actually does care or actually did check on your mum or your family or whoever it might be. I'd rather be friends with him, even if he is a neek. Do you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, like,
because you know when it matters, he'll be there.
Yeah, when it matters, like, obviously not for violence, but like. It's just such a young man thing. But when you get older and you just realize
your mindset changes.
Your mind changes. You was in whatever you was in is a joke, really.
Yeah. So one thing I actually wanted to touch on as well, and I don't really know how to articulate it, but I'll try it. Is like, why is the man who's like maybe not necessarily on being on the road or shotting or on punching man up or on violence, like, why is he seen as like a neek or good youth, but that's a negative thing? Like, he's not on anything and that's a negative. If he knows he's not on anything and he doesn't try and get involved, he knows himself, like, why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, but I think it's what man would say. Like, you see man that are actually on that shit, that's how a man would describe someone that's not on that shit. Like, you're an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Like, my man's an idiot kind of thing. Because he ain't sold drugs or he ain't chefed anybody. And obviously that's not the case. But it's like when man them are in that life, they look at like a civilian. You might look at a civilian like, you're a neek or whatever. But then, you know, it's I don't know. I don't know why, bro. You get me? Because even myself, when I was growing up and I was going country and I was doing all these things, and like, bro, you're a good youth, or you're a neat, like whatever. But when you come to a proper age and you realize, Nah, they just made right decisions.
You know? That's the reality.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like being in denial at the start and thinking, nah, they're not making the right decision. I'm doing the right thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think you'd think in your head that like, yeah, you're there working for the man. I'm working for myself. Like, and you might think you're doing the right thing or whatever, but you know the reality is
to make yourself feel a bit better, innit?
Yeah,
to put down someone else. To think,
they might be like putting down somebody and might think that makes them feel
better.
Yeah, because the other thing is like I feel like maybe this is just from my experience, but like a lot of men are not making a lot of money on the roads. Like a lot of men are not making that much money, and so I'm like, so this brother who you're calling like a Nick or good you or whatever has got his job, like goes to work, knows how much money he's gonna get, like he's cool, but you're like trying to make fun of him, but like you're like only selling like tens or whatever just to get by. But you're saying that he's a good dude.
I think people like that are selling tens and 20 shouldn't have any chat for anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you know, but some people have a banging line though. To be fair, but like you know, if those are the levels you're on, you can't really get because. You see, if you really work it out, the amount of hours that you put into the road, you're earning less than my man working in Sainsbury's. Really, you know what I mean? But on the flip side of it, bro, man, them are making money on the road. Like,
I was going to say,
of course, there are some men making money. No, I'm not saying
what
no
I would
one
say
is
there's men that are making money. Like I know a few men that are doing their thing or have done their thing, whatever. But they're just not using the money wisely. You know what I mean? So we're looking at a man that's doing a 9 to 5, a standard job, I don't know, a school teacher or whatever it may be, a sports coach or whatever. They'll have a house, family, everything. Because the money they're getting in, they're looking after the money. Whereas you've got men that are making some serious money. I'm sure you know a few men, but they're just not spending the money wisely. So now it looks like he ain't making no money. Bro, because he's got nothing to show for it, if that makes sense.
Put like this, when I was young, bro, I started my own line in country, my line. You get me? I wasn't working for no one. It was my thing, and I was a teenager still. Yeah. And I was bringing back £3,000 a day, 2,500 to £3,000 a day in white and bees. Yeah. And let's say, for example, I don't know.
That's crazy, bro.
Every day in a small town. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know. The profit of that, because that's not what you make, obviously, but the profit of that was about £700 a day after the reload, and then after I don't know the driver, the worker, after you paid everything, you'd make about £700 a day. 10 days, 7 grand. 100 days, 70 grand. But
when you do the numbers, it's mad.
Yeah, and that's a standard line, bro. And that was me, and it was a standard line. It was Felix though, a place I was shot in, small town. And that was very standard. You got people that are in bigger places like Norwich and Ipswich and these bigger places where they're clearing in £5 grand a day. So people are making big money, but like I said, easy come, easy go. Because I was doing foolishness with the money. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, I couldn't tell you where the money went, and I was gambling. Do you know what I'm saying? I was doing a bit of gambling. I was doing silliness, like just stupid things, and you know. Just couldn't tell you where the bread went, and eventually you get nicked, and then you know somebody snakes the line, and all of this, bro, is just But yeah, there is money in the roads, but it's like I said about the seeds, like it's a shit fruit. So it's like it's not even. You see, when you work, bro, imagine working stacking shelves, bro, and then you get this, I don't know, 1,500 a month. I don't know what they get paid, but say you're stacking shelves and you've been doing that all month, and you get your 15 bills in your account. Bro, you have to respect that money. If you don't, you're just an idiot. Like you have to respect that money because you've worked hard.
But you would respect it. You have no choice but to respect it.
You worked super hard for that money, bro. But then when, like myself, when I was making that money every day, and I wasn't even there, I was in my yard, like chilling. You know, I'm chilling. I wasn't even there. It was like, I got that. Spend it. Like it was just nothing. Going raving, spending hundreds of pounds on one bottle and things like this, like you just do silly things that you wouldn't do if you worked hard for your money. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's it.
No, that's an interesting take. Yeah, I definitely agree. So what's the plan for the podcast just moving forward? Just keep going with the interviews and obviously trying to finish off the movie as well. Yeah,
the movie is like a priority for myself right now. So we'll do rehearsals and that, and when the guys have time on the weekend, we'll try and get a scene done. Obviously, podcasts, I try and do that as often as possible. I have loads of different people that I speak to, like, and it's like, okay, we'll get you in kind of thing. But the podcast it's not that consistent. I need to do it a lot more. Cause I think you said in the beginning, it's your 50th episode.
Yeah.
Sick, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I don't think I'm close to that, like, episode-wise, but I could be more consistent with the amount of people I speak to, but it's like, because I'm doing so many different things. And then as you know yourself, you do this podcast, you like, for me, I'm just doing it myself, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you do that, and some people are like, put the times of like topics in the videos and that. Yeah. I'm like, bro,
allow me, man.
do you know how much I'm doing, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? And
bro.
I'm not educated, I'm not media trained or anything like this. Like, so a lot goes into it, bro. And you know, so yeah, I'm focusing on the movie and the podcast. I think I'll put out like an episode once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Have you got a favorite like episode?
Have I got a favorite episode?
Yeah, like a favorite interview that you've done.
Nah, because you know what? Like I keep saying, bro, I am introverted, bro. Sometimes I don't watch the episode back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, unless it's like someone might call me and be like, I said X, Y, and Z. Can we edit it out? Yeah. Then I'll tell my editor, because now I've got an editor, take X, Y, and Z out. But then I cringe sometimes just watching my own shit. Do you know? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, So I do have like episodes that I enjoy doing. Like, so if it's a bit different, like if it's a different story, like I did one with the skateboarder kid. the other
that's
day,
one of my favorites. That Kid Morph is his
Kid
name.
Morph, but he's like good energy. It was a completely different story. I felt it was good because it just showed people that like to point fingers, like, play Steve again, get Stephen prizes. You know, them type of people, but it's like you got like other people from different walks of life that can also get into trouble, and I feel like it would educate a lot of people as well. And then you got, I like episodes where someone can tell a good story. Do you know what I'm saying?
And how they carry themselves.
Themselves.
That's
like,
a big thing, yeah.
And people that obviously like they've got the right mind and the right energy. Like I like that, but I don't have a particular favorite.
Yeah. Obviously, I've said I like the Kid More fun because, like you say, I think it's just a surprising story to like. If you like looked at him, he even says it. If you looked at him and you like skateboarder guy kind of thing, and he's talking about like basically being a drug kingpin kind of thing, like moving mad amounts of weight, and then also like the Frogsy one, because I just thought that was just like he's super honest. But obviously you got like loads of sick ones like Billy Miyagi and
Billy
Stanner, man.
Stanner, Billy, those were all sick ones. Paris, Aaliyah, all of them are good in their own different way.
Yeah.
I did like though 013, the guy he killed a rapist. I don't know if you watched that one, but the way he story told that, I was like, that was one of the videos that I did actually watch back because it was like,
no, that was a mad one.
It was kind of gripping, like for myself. And
And if you haven't watched that, definitely go check that out. But I think we're gonna wrap up here. But there's a few like calls to action. Like if you've made it this far, like and subscribe. Definitely go check out Delinquent Nation. If you haven't, like you've probably been under a rock if you ain't seen at least summer.
Now we'll put all the socials and that.
And if you can, like
GoFundMe page as well. Don't forget that. Go and support it as well.
Nation. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's locked in. That's been a Detailed on Matt podcast. SP, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me,
good to have you, bro.
We'll see you guys soon. Peace. Long story short, do you think prison is a place where they're actually trying to rehabilitate people?
Nah. Because like, but what serious people would do is like, they will put a bit of oil in there and they'll put some sugar in so it sticks. So when that hot water goes on your face, it's like you're like naturally doing that, but your skin's coming off with you because it sticks in it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can imagine hot sugar.
Yeah.
But they boil it for time. You boil it for time, and you're finished basically. Once that goes on you, that's you for life. It's like first degree burns or something.
Oh my!
I asked that question
touch on it a little bit about what it is.
IPP is just fuckery.
That's simple.
Literally.
IPP fuckery, car.
Do you want to just like kind of explain what joint enterprise is?
Fuckery. Again, joint enterprise is mad. Like